Hello guys, Robot1 here along with Charmander in the background as always, coming at you with a new episode of the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Segment on my channel where we talk about cards coming out later on in the game, discuss them, look at them, and just have a general talk about them to see if they're going to be any good, and might boost the deck they're going in, might make the deck they're going in better, or just being a new deck in general and just seeing if it's going to be good going on later in the game. And the cards we're going to be looking at are new Speedroid cards coming out, for us at least, in the Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm. These should be in Synchro Storm because this is like the set where it's going to have all the new Speedroid cards, and I believe if we go down a bit, it's literally the same pack art, so it does make sense for this stuff to be in this set. But we're going to be looking at these cards, we're going to see how good they are, see what maybe reprints are going to actually be going in it as well, because it does look like up here they've got like reprints tags, but we might not get those reprints obviously because the TCG and the OCG reprints are always kind of different. Like hell, the OCG are going to get Lightning Storm and Impermanent Structure deck, whereas we're probably going to get Lightning Vortex and I don't know, another Effect Veiler reprint. So yeah, but we're going to be having a look at this, we're going to see what we got here, and hopefully we're going to see some pretty good Speedroid support, because Speedroids are pretty interesting deck. They're not the best deck in the game, but they're interesting. They have some good effects, so let's go into it and see what we got here. So starting off, we have Speedroid Party Horn Kid. I believe this was a manga card as well, so cool to see this. So Party Horn Kid, level 4 Wind Machine Tuner Effects Monster, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. First effect, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of other wind monsters you control. Add one activated card to your hand, also place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, first little gripe here. If you normal summon this card, you will only get to excavate one, I believe. Like, you get to excavate it's other wind monsters, so you don't even get to excavate one if you normal summon this card by itself. But if you special summon it with like 5 other wind monsters on the board, well sorry, not 5 other, 4 other normally, because if you got the link monster there, I guess you can have 5, but probably not going to have them, then you're only going to get to excavate 4 at most, or maybe 1 at most at times. So if that top card isn't a wind monster, it doesn't really do anything. So just a little gripe there. It's not a bad card, because if you do get to special summon it while there's other wind monsters on the board, you can activate like maybe 2-3 cards. If there's a wind monster, you get to add it to your hand and get to play from there. But nonetheless, it's just like, it's not the best card in my opinion. But what's its second effect? You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one level 3 or higher wind monster you control, reduce its level by 2. Okay, so level augmentation, it's a synchro based deck, makes sense. Not gonna complain about a synchro augmentation card, or a level augmentation card, because that's pretty much what synchros do. What's the next one? So Speedroid Magic Hound. Alright, it's a level 3, 800 attack, 800 defense, machine wind effect monster, okay. First effect, when this card is normal summoned, you can send one Speedroid card from your deck to graveyard. Alright, that's not actually bad, because I believe a lot of the Speedroid deck has a lot of graveyard-based effects. Like, I believe the Free-Eyed Dice has the ability, well, the Free-Sided Dice has the ability to just go ahead and banish itself from the graveyard to prevent battle or destruction. There's one that revives monsters from the graveyard. So that's actually pretty good to see right there. Just having a little revive ability there is pretty good. So second effect, if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, then target one Speedroid monster in your graveyard. So this could be a Speedroid Synchro, Speedroid Effect monster, anything in your graveyard. Shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special one Speedroid Synchro monster with the same level but different names from your extra deck, but its effects are negated. So this effect is pretty decent, I would say. This gives you basically the ability to say, okay, this is in the graveyard, it's been there since last turn, I used it for synchro summons, I've now got some resources in the graveyard, I can go ahead and use this card's effect, banish it, target a Speedroid in my graveyard, and just be like special a Synchro 3. I could special a Synchro 4, a Synchro 5, or a Synchro 6 Speedroid monster from the extra deck, which is pretty good, seeing as I'm pretty sure there are level 5s and 6s main deck Speedroid monsters, but even if you don't have those in your graveyard, you could have synchro summoned into something in your graveyard to go ahead and just put it back in the extra deck, and then just special summon another one from your extra deck. So this dog is actually pretty good. This Hound is pretty decent. It gives you another synchro monster to potentially go into plays with like a Crystal Wing, for instance, seeing as Crystal Wing does require a synchro monster to actually summon it. So it has potential. I feel like it's actually pretty good having a send effect on it, having that kind of effect that just summons one from the X deck. It's a pretty decent card, I should say. So Speedroid Magic Hound, pretty good card. Let's go on to the next card though. which is Hi-Speedroid Cork Blaster, a sniper rifle that has corks in it, and has little rubber bands on it as well to like return them to you. That's normally what a cork gun has on it. It's got like a little string that goes ahead and flies off with the cork, so understandable. And it is a level 3 wind synchro tuner effect monster, 500 attack, 1000 defense, and requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. And right off the bat, I noticed that this is level 3, so you could instantly just go ahead and use magical Hound effect, banish it from the graveyard, target a level 3 Speedroid, not there in here, like 3-eyed dice for instance, and you could go ahead and shuffle that into the deck and then just special summon this from the extra deck. So 3 resources there, am I right? Am I right, guys? And that's actually pretty decent, but let's see what this card can do. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card's effects, except wind monsters. Okay, so it does give you a lock-in. You're locked into wind if you do choose to use this, but I believe there are a lot of Speedroid cards that already lock you into wind, so not a big deal for Speedroids overall. First effect, if this card is synchro summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Add 1 Speedroid spell / trap from your deck to your hand. That's actually pretty decent because you're able to add like the Monster Reborn spell or the one that adds stuff from your graveyard back to your hand, so that's pretty decent. Second part of this effect though is, if this card was synchro summoned using only Speedroid monsters as materials, and all the materials that were used for the synchro summon are in your graveyard, special summon all of them. Whoa, wait, so you can just use a 3-eye, you could use a 6-eyed dice, like the D6 dice, and another level 2 monster, because there's level 1 and there's level 2, and you could just go ahead and special summon them both back. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty decent. Just summon this, summon all the monsters back. Free resources, we always like free resources, so that's actually pretty sick, not gonna lie. Having free resources like that is always nice, and this just says, oh, I'm gonna get more monsters back. Sure, it's minimum or maximum 2. You're not gonna, well, if you use free, I guess. Is there other level 1 Speedroid monsters that aren't tuners? I'm not too sure actually, but yeah, you can just go ahead and summon 2 monsters back normally and just go into an additional play. That's actually pretty decent, not gonna lie there. But let's see what the next card is. So this is, ooh, that's a crystal, that's a Clearwing Synchro Dragon bike right there. Pretty cool. So Hi-Speedroid Clearwing Rider, level 11 Synchro Machine, Wind Monster, and you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Yusei's Dual Runner becoming an actual Synchro monster, so this is kind of cool to me. This is actually kind of cool, but like in the reverse, obviously. And it's got 3500 attack, 2000 defense, takes 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner wind synchro monsters. Okay, so it is basically just for wind-based decks, obviously. First effect, once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided dice and shuffle wind monsters from your graveyard into the deck up to the result. Then, you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number shuffled, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack for each card destroyed by this effect until the end of this turn. So, interesting effect. First of all, you roll a 6-sided dice, so that's basic. And then you can go ahead and shuffle wind monsters in your graveyard up to that number. So if you roll a 6, you could potentially shuffle back 6 cards into your deck, and then just go ahead and destroy cards on your opponent's field. So that's not bad. Like, having the ability to destroy up to 6 cards is always pretty nice, because this card like reminds me of Adamantipated Dragite, where you just activate the top 5. If there's rocks there, you get to go ahead and put cards back into the opponent's hand, which is actually a pretty good effect. And also on top of that, it has the added bonus of being a 500 attack boost for each one shuffled back. So it's just like that's pretty good card. So literally, you destroy 5 cards, you gain 2500 attack. Pretty decent card right there, pretty good effect. Second effect, let's go ahead and read it. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can tribute this synchro summon card, special summon up to 2 level 7 wind synchro monsters with different names from your deck. Pretty good effect. Pretty good effect right there. Summon out a Clearwing, summon out any other Wind Synchro level 7 from your extra deck. You can summon out the Wind Witch Synchro, for instance, which is actually pretty decent. I wouldn't say that's the key effect of this card, because summoning out a Clearwing during your opponent's main phase isn't amazing. Like, if you could just summon out 2 Wind Synchro monsters, I think this card would absolutely be insane, because you could go ahead, summon out 2 Wind Synchro monsters, summon out a quick Synchro monster during your opponent's turn, and then also a Speedroid monster from your extra deck as well, and then just go into like a Crystal Wing or something, so you have that additional negate during your opponent's turn. But that's actually a pretty decent effect. Just summon out Clear Wing Fast Dragon and a Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. It's pretty decent, not gonna lie. Has its perks right there, so pretty good card nonetheless from Hi-Speedroid Clear Wing Rider. But let's see what the last card I think there is. Yeah, this is the last card, which is Speedroid Duplicate, which is a normal trap card, and you can only use the second effect once per duel. Oh, once per duel? Okay. So this effect's probably going to be really good, I guess? First effect, banish 1 monster from your graveyard and target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Okay. Pretty decent effect, I would say. Having an effect that just returns cards to the hand is pretty good. I wish it didn't target though, because being a card that says target, it does mean that it's very restricted in this game right now, because there are a lot of cards that have target prevention effects on them. So I don't really like cards that say target nowadays, because, well, obviously they need to say target all the time, because otherwise they're just going to be absolutely busted, be able to out every card in the game. But at the same time, it's like cards like this, which are a trap card, which are really, really slow, I wish they didn't target, just because like traps are slow as is, and having a targeting effect just makes them even worse. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and see what its second effect though is, which is supposed to be the broken effect, seeing as it can only be used once per duel apparently. But let's see what it does. So, second effect, during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Speedroid monster you control. Reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster, Machine, Tuner, Wind, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense. This is not treated as a trap card. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't think it's something that was really required to be once per duel. I feel like making it once per turn, a hard once per turn, where it would be banished when it left the field, would have been so much more balanced, because, like, yes, it's a card that can give you a free monster, can give you a free tuner, give you instant access into pretty much any Wind Synchro monster to go into level up synchros and stuff like that. But it's not that good of an effect to be once per duel, I would say. And once per duel effects, when I really think of a once per duel effect, I think, oh, this card is going to be absolutely insane. This card is going to be absolutely broken. If this is a once per duel effect, this once per duel effect must mean something really, really good. And just being a card that says you can turn it into a monster, tuner, normal monster, tuner, level 1, and you can only do it once per duel, it's not that good. I would have said it would have been a lot better if you just made it so it would be banished when it left the field and it was a hard once per turn. That's just my thoughts on it. I feel like it would have been a bit more balanced that way. Like, it just feels like you kind of tried to kill the card before it became what it could have been. So that's kind of like my thoughts on this card. But that's all the actual cards that we have to talk about here. Like, honestly, all these cards pretty decent. Like, Hound is pretty good. It's a Foolish Burial, which can just get any Speedroid Synchro out of the extra deck pretty much. You've got the new Party Horn, which is just excavate, potentially get cards from your deck to your hand, which is pretty nice. You've got this, which just says, oh, I'm going to summon all the materials back, which is pretty decent too, or add a spell or trap. You've got the new, well, Clear Wing, which says you can literally just go ahead and roll a dice, put cards back, and then destroy cards your opponent controls up to that number, which is pretty decent. And then you've got this, which is like, oh, target 1 card, return it to the hand, pretty good, and a once per duel effect that doesn't really deserve to be once per duel. And looking at the reprints here as well, let's see what they've got. So we've got, like, okay, Daiko Duke was actually a reprint. That was actually a card that was printed in Eternity Code. So this is actually, could be actually a really good reprint. Or was it Return of the Duelist? One of the two. It's Return of the Duelist or Eternity Code. So that could be a pretty good reprint if we actually got that. Sorry, not Daiko, Car Turbo. Like, this is, these reprints are actually pretty good. I would say the best one here, I would say, is Terratop, because Terratop only has 3 printings, I believe, and they all have some sort of value to them to an extent. And obviously, it being a limited card in the TCG doesn't really make sense coming back to free. It might actually come back to free actually because of this, but personally, I wouldn't want it to come back to free because it's just a free rank free extension card that's a free summon that gets you the take on board and goes into whatever you really want. But reprints look alright. But looking at the cards in general, all the cards are pretty decent here. I would say the Speedroids are going to get a nice little boost here that can make them a bit better, give them a bit more things to, you know, go into other plays, potentially have more extension. But I feel like Speedroids were fine as they were without these cards. I don't know if they'll use all of them. Like, they might use like Cork Blaster, for instance, and they might use Duplicate just because it says it's a free monster at times and can return things to the hand, which is pretty good. But in all, guys, I think these cards are pretty decent. What do you guys think of these cards in the comment section below? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on them. And yeah, guys, don't really have much else to say about these. Speedroid cards are pretty good. I do like how we're going to be getting them quite soon in a lovely Synchro Storm coming out later on in the year. And yeah, can't wait to see what people actually come up with this. I might even try testing it myself. I've never been really a Speedroid type of guy, but it's a pretty cool archetype. And Yugioh is, you know, he's the Synchro protagonist of Arc V. I was always a Yuma fan because I love the Magician stuff, but it's nice to see this. But anyway, guys, please don't forget to tell me your thoughts and opinions on these cards in the comment section below. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Do you think they'll make Speedroid somewhat meta? Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Discord, my Instagram, everything along those lines. I post there. I update my streams there. I literally posted one last night, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. From About One, signing out. Later all.